Slasher. Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are ready to rock and roll for a Monday night slasher movie club. Our good friend Michael, the Carbonite Jedi, has garnered his courage to come back and join us. If you were with us last night, then
And you know,
then you know we had a great watch party for Friday 13th Part 3, which was a first time watch for Michael. And tonight we're going to talk about it on Slasher Movie Club. So, Michael, thank you again for joining us. We appreciate it all the time, man. Seriously.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Seriously. For you guys, for you guys in the chat, welcome. Good to see you guys. We see you all, and thank you for being here. We got Julie and Kelly. For the love of horror, my man Jerry, what's up, man? Good to see you. We got Mary in the house. Hey, Mary, good to see you. Paula, good to see you. All right, hope you're doing well. Scott, Richard, and hey, we got Nanette in the chat. What's going on? Good to see you. Hope you've been doing well. Let's see. Cue the Jason disco music. Yeah, right. I know. Neil is in the house. What's up, Neil? Good to see you. And Mikey, what's up? Good to have you. All right. So Travis, by the way, thank you so much last night for keeping us up to date on the Patreon copy of Friday 13th Part 3. I did have it there for you guys. I'm glad someone was able to use it and that it worked. You know, that was cool. But thank you so much. We appreciate all the support. Okay, so let's get into this. Michael, the movie begins. First of all, let me just say this. If you guys did not see the watch party, especially if you're a big fan of Friday 13th, horror fan in general, but especially if you love Friday 13th, you guys got to watch the movie, have us on with it. Michael will ask these questions that makes a lot of sense, you know, and I'm sitting there thinking, this guy is like, he's figuring out some stuff. He also is asking some questions that are out there. Michael, this movie starts off and it's basically a rehash of Part 2. And one of the first things you said was, is she going to be in it? And I'm like, that's a good question, right? What were you thinking when you first saw Ginny from Part 2 and they were kind of replaying the adventures of her and her pitiful boyfriend?
I thought, because in the second one, the one she's in, they started off with the final girl in the first one, and then it ends up her getting killed. I kind of figured that they were going to have the final girl here and they were going to kill her off, and one of the questions I was having is right when they stopped doing the flashback is what was the time period between the second and the third one? Because the first to the second seemed like it was like months or even years.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 4 years, something like that.
Okay,
something like that.
Yeah. Between the campers in Part 2. Now with Alice, that was just a couple of months. I think like 3 months after the events of the first film, and then she got killed. Okay. And then Part 2 happened. I think it was like 5 years after the events of Part 1. That's why at the end of Part 2, here in this layer of Pamela, you see Alice's body decomposed.
Yeah, it looks very mummified.
Oh, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, what was that?
I can hear. Can you hear me?
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh. I don't know if my frozen. Can you guys in the chat?
I can hear you coming in and out.
If you can hear, let us know. I heard him a little bit.
I can hear you.
You there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me? Yeah, I think our connection's like getting a little choppy. Uh-oh. Well, so I guess I will talk about it. I'm not a horror person, as you can tell behind me, but on the movie, to me, in the second movie and in the third movie, whiskey. In the second and third movie, I think that they had the flashbacks, and for me, because I'd seen it so recently, the flashbacks to me seemed like filler. But there was a year in between each release of the movie, so maybe it was better that way, so people that came in could remember. Since back then they didn't release the movies very often, and they didn't have DVD or Blu-ray back then. So hopefully they can reset their router and get back in pretty soon. Because I know Knight has a lot of stuff he wants to unravel on this show. Neil, what was the total 80s thing about the DVDs? Or well, the recap. Yeah, they like to do the recap, or a person would go into reflection mode. I guess they did a lot of those, and I was totally waiting for it when the girl who had been there 2 years before. It was kind of confused. Number 3 was kind of confusing because they started off with this girl who's has trauma from 2 years ago, and then you don't really find out until like the middle of the movie or toward the end that she was out there and she was abducted, or she was attacked by Jason. So can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, cool. I was just talking about the recap at the very beginning of the movie, and how,
yes,
to me, since I'm seeing these really closely to each other, the recap to me feels more like a filler than actual the movie. But back then in the early 80s, like they were produced, there was a year in between each release, right? So
right.
They probably did that to help the people that had seen it before to refresh their memory of what was going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, and I thought, well, and of course, when I was a kid, I watched them, whenever I got a chance to. But for me, it was kind of cool in a way, just to kind of remember what had happened in the last film. And especially once I became a big fan, well, I was instantly a fan, but it was just kind of cool to see some of the past events and the past characters. So I never really thought of it as filler, but back then with these slasher films, it wouldn't surprise me if that was also an added bonus in their minds as far as the filmmakers,
okay,
just to give that runtime. But
now that you say it, I like I said, I'm watching these like almost a week or two apart. So they're like super fresh in my mind. So yeah, I can totally see it being not much filler, because back then all we had were VCR tapes to
Right.
watch the movies, and a lot of people didn't have that. I didn't have a VCR, and so people going to the movies were like, "What happened in the last one? What, I can't remember." And so it gives them a recap. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting in a way. For this film, one thing it did that was a little bit different is it showed Jason on the ground with the machete out of his shoulder, and that he's moving. So that was a little bit different because that wasn't in Friday 13th Part 2.
That's right. I forgot that.
Yeah. So, but the biggest difference to me, and tell me what you think, and Coriander, you can give your opinion on that too, is once we get that little zoom in of the 3D, because this film was done in 3D, we have the disco music. What did you think of that? I know we were kind of talking about it, and Coriander was dun dun dun, and making noise. But what did you think of it yourself?
I am shocked it didn't happen in the first movie, because that was more closer to the 70s and the disco movement. Whereas 83 is more the pop music was starting to come out in full force.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what I was thinking, but it was pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a groove.
Yeah, you said it was played in clubs and stuff. So I mean, a lot of people must have liked it.
Yeah, it became its own thing in a way. Like it became known just because it was and it was a totally different vibe. But that being said, and we'll talk about it as we go further into the movie, I think that this film had a really the score had a big presence. And I remember you had said maybe halfway or so through the film, you were like, this music is creeping me out. And I think the music was very present in this film. The good Harry Manfredini regular creepy music. But yeah, the score starts off and you're like, what's going on? So when it starts off, and the other thing too is locations. We were talking about locations because we happen upon this store with this couple. And I remember you were saying, well, where is this at? And so, and Coriander did a really good job of explaining, Crystal Lake, it's a huge lake. And the events of Part 1 was at Camp Crystal Lake, or what they called Camp Blood.
Yeah.
That's where everything originally started, Pamela and everything. Yeah, you're doomed. That's right. And Part 2 took place not that far from Camp Crystal Lake. And now Part 3 is, we don't know yet at this point, but it's close. It's close to the lake. There's a town that's right there by the lake, as we saw in the beginning of Part 1. So one thing I will say about this couple, look, they're interesting. And right off the bat, we get shadows. Like we see Jason in the shadows. The wife thinks it's the husband out there.
I know.
And it's not. But I will say this, and then I'll jump to the chat as well. And I know I knew this, but I was really focusing on this last night. But looking at Jason, this is Richard Brooker who's portraying Jason in this film. He's got on the clothes that he had at the end of Part 2, or that he had in Part 2.
I never caught that.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, well, and the thing of it is that I never really thought much. Did you ever think about that? No. Like, this is Richard Brooker dressed up like Sackhead Jason, except no sack on his head. And look what he's standing by. He's standing by, a green button-up shirt, which is what he's going to change into. That's why he's dressed different.
Oh, okay.
And I never really thought much about that on YouTube. Now, I know when I was a kid, I was always, watching this stuff, but I just never really thought to talk about that. And if anyone else caught that, because as soon as I was thinking about that, I was like, holy crap. Yeah, that's right. That's why he's by a bunch of clothes. He's going to change. Hey, it's crazy.
See, I never thought of him changing clothes or anything.
Yeah, because like right in the scene, you can see he's got the overalls. But anyways.
See, I didn't even.
Yeah, that's cool little trivia.
Yeah, I mean,
Touch.
yeah, I mean, it's quick. You know, if you blink, you'll miss it, type of thing. Hey, Gene, good to see you. Hope you are doing well. Jason's in the chat too. Good to see you. Um, Neil, was the machete to the shoulder in part two? Why his traps are so big in part three? Right. Well, I will say this. One thing that they did on purpose is they wanted Jason to be more physically intimidating. They literally set out to make that happen. And Richard Brooker, I believe he's 6'3". So he's a lot taller than Warrington Gillette, or Steve Dash, who portrayed, Jason in part two. So that was something that they did. And another thing I want to throw out there, and Michael, I know Michael's like, wait a minute, aren't we going to talk about the movie? But it's just something that
No,
came
it's
to my
good.
mind, is that this came out in 1982. The slasher boom, the slasher craze, which Friday 13th really kind of kickstarted in 1980, was already in full effect. And by the time part two came out in 81, so did Halloween 2. And I honestly think that this Jason is kind of the direct, result of them saying, hey, Michael was kicking ass in Halloween 2. We gotta step up with our Jason. And I really think that that was a big part of why they made sure that they had a stuntman like Richard Brooker, who was bigger, more physically imposing. They do the hockey mask. I mean, we'll get to that, but I think that and Halloween, got things off of Friday 13th, and Elm Street got all three of the big three, kind of worked in tandem, and you could see them kind of pushing each other, just like any great, competitors do. So anyways, I just want to throw that out there. If anyone in the chat has any thoughts on that, feel free to throw it out there. But real quick, we've got a super chat from Hollywood Guy. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Saying hello, what's going on with you guys? And Michael, how is the Jason series treating you? Part 3, The Legend Begins. Ooh, yeah.
It's treating me well. I think it's more of a treat for Knight and Coriander watching me jump out of my chair. But it's fun hanging out. I never watched these. I guess I built them so up in my head of what they would be like, and it's not as intimidating. But I mean, as maybe a 6 or 7 year old, you probably wouldn't want to watch it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it scared me as a 7-year-old. That's for sure.
I bet.
Yeah, it really, really did. Hollywood Guy, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you, man. And Val also has the link from Michael's channel right here in the chat. So make sure that if you guys have not, go and subscribe to the Carbonite Jedi. I also have the link in our description. So definitely make sure that you are supporting Michael and making sure that you're in balance with the Force. We got Denisha in the house as well. Hey, Denisha, good to see you.
Hi, Denisha.
And thank you, Val. Jack's in the house. Hey, good to see you. Hope you guys are doing well. So Jason's gonna do a little changeroo. Harold is eating snacks more than any person I've ever seen eat snacks. Donuts, peanuts, orange juice, fish food, you name it, he'll eat it. It's just so funny seeing these characters in the beginning of the film. What did you think, Michael?
I actually really thoroughly enjoyed the first scene of the movie and when you told me it was the director, it was even a bonus, Yeah. And seeing them out in the middle of nowhere with all this, this little store, and then the restroom, which was nasty, and it's and then he pulls a whiskey bottle out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it was great. I honestly thought he was going to get stabbed with the knitting needle.
Yeah.
But he didn't. They always like try to throw you off, and they keep everything like in suspense, so you're like tight as a wire,
right,
for these things to jump out at you. So it was good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, he was a fun character, and his wife, telling him you got to stop eating snacks all the time. And But I think what was interesting is you can see right from the beginning that Jason, in the chat, Neil was saying it too, more plotting. Part 3, he's stalking, playing games with them. It was very Michael-esque, Michael Myers, that is, not Carbonite, but but it was cool. It was really, really cool. But he takes care of these guys pretty quick, and we knew that he would. And then we basically get to our main cast, with Chris and her friends going out to her family's camp, which is literally right there at Crystal Lake, not too far from Camp Crystal Lake itself. Shelley, of course, is the jokester, the aspiring actor who's always pulling pranks. You got your stoners who they were hilarious. Like, this was a fun. What do you think? I mean, I think it was a fun group of characters to follow.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you feel?
Yeah, like I said, there's some movies where the cast is just so annoying, and I don't have any problem with really any Jason. Well, there's one that's, but we'll get there when we get to it. But majority, the cast is pretty good. I don't have a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a young group of kids, and no one's really annoying, and you got one guy who's trying to always prove himself. But I think that he's relatable to a lot of people, in the sense that he's the underdog. He's the one that doesn't get a lot of attention, and I think, and again, Larry Zerner has become kind of a cult character and a cult actor in the franchise, and he's done very well for himself since then. He actually followed the Michael. I know you may not know too much about this, but there was a big lawsuit within the franchise, with the different rights owners trying to basically control, what the movies, where they go, control the franchise and the money. And the guy who played Shelley, he's a lawyer, and he really gave a lot of insight to some of the legal stuff going on behind the scenes, because we haven't had a Friday the 13th film since 2009.
Oh, okay.
That's a long time for a franchise that was one of the big three of the 80s.
When did the lawsuit come out? Or
it's been going on for years. I think it first kind of made headlines, I don't know, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. I remember we talked a lot about it, but part of it, but it's more complicated than that, because Paramount Pictures did the first 8 films.
Oh, okay.
And then they sold the rights to New Line Cinema, and New Line Cinema was the company that did the Elm Street films. But after Paramount sold the rights, New Line could not use the name Friday the 13th in the title. That's why, like, for instance, you've seen Jason X. That's why it's called Jason X and not Friday the 13th Part 10.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, in other words, New Line Cinema had the rights to Jason Voorhees. Paramount had the rights to the name Friday the 13th and the original film.
Oh.
So
they sold it, but they still had a little bit of control.
Yeah. And it's even more complicated than that. I probably didn't even explain it as well as I should have, but it's
you did pretty good.
Oh,
yeah,
well, thank you.
Yeah, Steve said something. They had some kind of like lawsuit going, and that's why they always called it Jason now, instead of Friday the 13th. And I was going to ask you about that after the show, because I wasn't sure when it happened. So
yeah, it's a thing, man. It really is. But that's neither here nor there. But this cast of characters is great. And you even called it, Michael. We're watching the film, and we have to get that one guy in there who's, you're all doomed. Go back from whence ye came with the eyeball.
I know.
It's in 3D, man.
The 3D eyeball, yeah.
3D eyeball is great. Real quick in the chat, we got Lindsay in the house coming in with a super chat. Let me just pull that up. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. And Lindsay saying part 3 is the one that really got me into the franchise. More terrifying. No more potato sack. Hockey mask. Chef's kiss. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think at this point they knew what they had as far as a character that could carry the franchise. And it worked out pretty good. This is the only, to me, this is the only major horror franchise that literally evolved in a good way with the first several films. Whereas a lot of franchises, usually their first film is their signature film, or maybe their second. So they did it kind of the opposite with Friday the 13th. But yeah, I think they were influenced by those that they influenced with the slasher craze that was in full bore after 81, that is. But, with the film, once they get to the place, this is her family home or family camp. She's getting comfortable. There you got Rick, who's he's just an interesting character. He's trying to rekindle their romance. And
he's
she's
a groomer.
Yeah. He is, right? He's got one thing on his mind. And she's trying to, and like at this point in the movie, it's funny because we don't know. But once we hear her story about why she came back, then it's almost like, well, buddy, give her some space, like she was asking for, But I think it was some really fun stuff that was happening in the beginning of the film to set it up. To be quite honest, I think it was, to me, might have been the best group of characters up until this point between the 3 films. They definitely had their moments. And you also have a pregnant lady who, I mean, it's like,
spaced out.
Nobody is safe, whether you're in a wheelchair or if you're even pregnant. Nobody.
She got safe. Kevin Bacon.
Yep.
There you go. Real quick, we got Jason in the house. What's up, Jason? Good to see you, man. Thank you for the super chat. Knight, describe us how that hockey mask looks. It's clean. It's crisp. Last night, Jason, I wish you were there, man. We were doing the watch along, and Michael doesn't know about this, but I did say it, and Coriander always gives me a hard time about it. But it's true, man. Like Jason, his look in part 3, also, well, we won't get into that, but his look in part 3, I just think it's just so iconic. That's just so fresh. What would Killian say about it? Mr. Happy hates. That's right. Man, you might do that shirt. Do that shirt. I've been thinking about somebody.
Oop.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Well, I don't think that I haven't seen any other ones, but
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Val, you you need to come on too. Yeah, and I think they're having issues.
There?
Maybe it's, yeah, I can hear you. I'm here. Yeah, I think maybe there's a lot of wind or something causing network issues. Freeze frame. Yeah. So yeah, I like the cast on the third one. I think it, Knight made a good point when he said that, this was a better cast. I think there was a lot more character development on this one than in the first 2. But I don't know. I was going to ask Knight on the backstory of the final girl. Do you think that it was actually necessary for the final girl to have a backstory where Jason attacked her, or do you think that was just like filler? or could that have been taken out and it probably wouldn't have affected the movie at all? I think if you took that whole section out of the backstory, I think it wouldn't have had any bearing on the movie. Poor Knight. Oh, there you are.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can totally hear you now.
Yeah, I had to back out and come back in. It's rough, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you having? Is it windy at your house?
No. That's
okay.
That's the thing that's crazy. It's not windy.
We're in a bad spot, I guess.
Or maybe they're having issues or something.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say, man. It really is. But
if your internet goes out and you start hearing, run.
Right? We're screwed.
Oh man. That was good. That was good. You're quick, man. I got to give you credit. You are so quick.
So I asked the chat a question, and I want to ask you and Coriander this question. I don't know if you heard me or not. So, you know, they have this girl come in who had trauma. You don't know anything about it. And it's just like it came out of the blue that her and her family were there, and Jason started attacking her 2 years ago. Yeah. Do you think that story was absolutely necessary, or if they had taken that out of the movie, would it have made a difference?
I don't think it was necessary. Do you?
I don't think it was necessary either.
No. I mean, I think what they were trying to do was to have Chris framed in a way where she had something bad happen to her. Mm-hmm. She was traumatized, and she was using this trip to prove something to herself, which they did that. Like, if you really, and we were watching it last night, and I realized it. Well, I mean, I knew it, but watching it in the moment, I was thinking about it when she stabbed Jason in the hallway. She had to pull the knife out of her friend's back. We're way ahead, but anyways, to me, I think that was the moment when she took charge, and she went from victim to, you know, being on the offensive in a sense. But going into that story itself didn't necessarily have to do that. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I actually thought that she was actually one of the counselors from the second movie who had gone to the bar and came back and saw all the dead people. And that's what traumatized her. So, but it happened, you know, it wasn't 2 years ago, so that didn't work out. So, yeah.
No, but I mean, that's a good question though. I mean, that is one of those things that a lot of people talk about. You know, they kind of talk about, well, like you were saying last night, how did she get away? You know, why'd they have Jason do that and not kill her? You know, it was kind of out of character and so forth. So it's kind of weird. But I'll tell you, this franchise has those moments that are kind of like, it just makes you scratch your head a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes
I love the bikers.
Yeah, man. When we got to this scene with the bikers and Shelly with Vera, this was interesting because it's like, what are we doing here? What are we about to do? And of course, Shelly's always being picked on, which makes you feel bad for the guy. You know, he's always getting picked on. He's trying to, you know, put himself in a situation where he's not, you know, the last guy on the court being picked for a team type of thing. And and it was a really cool scene. It was a character scene, really. And you called it once they got out of the store and he was in the car, he backed up into the bikes. Of course, he didn't mean to do it. So Neil was like, the biker part was a waste of time. Like, how did they track them down? You know, and I think I said that last night too. I could just chalk it up to, I don't know, they just went in a certain direction and that was it. Maybe that direction leads right to where Chris's family's camp is, you know.
Could be.
Maybe. But yeah, this scene was funny, you know, and of course Shelly gets his chance to, you know, show a little courage, which I thought was cool. and he kind of gets his street cred, so to speak. So I thought it was a fun scene.
I really liked his character, and when you told me the backstory of how he got the job doing that character, it made it even better. So
Yeah, I mean, talk about making the most of your moment.
mhm.
And he's immortalized in this franchise. He truly is. He's one of those characters that people talk about, and not just because of the hockey mask. He really did stand out in this film, and I don't know the amount of experience for all the actors, but I'm sure there were people that had a lot more experience than him. But I thought he did well. He
Yeah, he
stood
did.
out. The
Yeah.
one thing that got me though, and I'll ask you guys about it, the biker gang decides to come to the camp, siphon the gas. That's bad enough. But they were going to burn the barn. What'd you think of that? They were literally going to get gasoline to set the barn on fire. Isn't that that's a little out of pocket, isn't it? Right? I mean,
Yeah.
Corey was like, What'd you think, Michael?
Well, I thought, they were just going to siphon the gas and steal it and go away,
that's what I thought too.
because they were like, nobody's going to get hurt. And then all of a sudden
Right.
they're like, come on, we got to like get the barn going, and douse it with gas. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's uncool.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it's like, it's crazy, man. It's like they were literally gonna set it on fire. I can't believe it, man. And Val, thank you for putting the link in for our Patreon. We appreciate it. And last night, was an exclusive that we had for the members and the Patreon members with the movie literally on our Patreon, because we can play movies on it, which is pretty cool. We got Michael's channel in the chat. Thank you so much, Julie, for putting that there.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. But yeah, poor Fox. She didn't do too well. She was in the barn searching around, playing with stuff, swinging on the rope. And as you can see right here, it was bad news right here, man.
Yeah.
They definitely set up these kills. But the thing that got me, that you said so many times, Michael, where is he putting the bodies? You kept saying that. Where is he putting the bodies? I mean, near the end of the movie, we definitely saw, where he was putting them. Maybe he was just hiding them, like behind a couple of trees until the end.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you walk into this house, you'd expect blood or something on the floor. Is he like mopping up the mess and stuff after every kill,
Right. It's true, man. Doom Turkey saying the 80s villains were on another level. Yeah, that's true. That is true. And Jack, we were talking about the yo-yo scene, all the different scenes where they were trying to, put objects closer to the camera for that 3D effect. It was hilarious. Hilarious, man. Hey, Melissa, what's going on? Good to see you. Jotto's in the chat. They were almost a 3D Halloween. Yeah, there were movies all around at that time that were thinking that we're going to do 3D, just like Jaws 3D, Amityville 3D. But
I didn't mind Jaws 3D.
No, I didn't mind it either. Yeah, we talked about that once, didn't we? Yeah.
At the beginning of the movie, the rat that's on the rat that comes after the woman, it's like on that little metal piece.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't mind it at all. Not at all. But yeah, these bikers, they got taken out pretty quick. So it's like, there you go. One thing that Michael had said too, I didn't know if you remember this, but it was a great point. But when Chris is about to tell the story to Rick right here, it's almost like that storytelling scene, like the campfire scene in part 2.
Yeah.
Which, a lot of movies took that from the Friday the 13th films. But that's exactly what it is. Instead of campfire, we've got the headlights from the Volkswagen.
And the drainage from a pipe.
Yeah.
Storage pipe.
Yeah. Oh my God. Jason saying the worst biker gang of all time. It's true. Oh my God. That is so true, man. And Jason also coming in with a super chat. How did Shelley fit a spear gun, wetsuit, hatchet, and makeup into a seemingly small bag? I want to buy a Mr. Happy Hates Glass shirt. If we make one, man, I'll definitely make sure to announce it. I definitely will. But we have been thinking about some new merch. Thank you so much, seriously, Jason. We appreciate you, man. Oh my gosh. Um, but yeah, this is where we hear the story about what happened to her. I think she said it was 2 years ago, right?
It was
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. So here's the thing to me. Tell me what you guys think if the math is mathing here. The events of part 3 happen pretty much after the events of part 2. So he did this before the events of part 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so. I never really thought about it like when she was telling the story. The timeline is interesting. Like if you really sit back and think about it, you know.
So it was like 3 years after
Pretty much.
part 1.
Part 1, right. Yeah. Yep. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy. But I get it in the sense, you know, to make her character, I guess you could say, interesting or at least different. You know, she's there to prove something to herself, basically. It's a place she spent time at when she was a kid and a young adult or whatever. And so that's kind of her whole backstory. This is where we get into what I think is when the movie kicks into overdrive. Poor Shelley's trying to make the move on Vera. It's not working. You give him his credit, though. He tried.
He shot his shot.
You've got to. You've got to. I mean, one thing one thing that I will say, and Michael, you'll appreciate this. Me and Steven used to say this a lot. You know, the guy in society, he used to always kind of mess up with the girls, and so we'd always poke fun at him. Well, Shelley's doing a better job than that guy in the movie Society. He is. He really, really. The shunting. That's right.
Yeah, definitely.
Val, thank you for reminding people. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. We appreciate it. So Jason is still in the shadows. Like he's been watching, doing a few things, watching, stalking. We got these guys with the hammock. Chris is telling her story. All this stuff is happening. The stoners are stoned, falling asleep. Like they're juggling a lot of stuff, and there he is, just watching people. It's really interesting how they said they tried to do this. They wanted to have more suspense.
It worked.
Yeah, I think it did too. Did you think it worked to be more suspenseful?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
For Michael, it's like, oh my god, dude.
Aw.
I'm so sorry for you. You were like left and right. And, oh my god. And, ooh.
You know, that is true. You know, someone, maybe it'll have to be me. Like if we watch these watch parties, you might have been more on edge on this one than the first two. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, I felt like it was more strung out. The suspense was more, you know, stretched, and then they'd play more suspenseful music, you know, and that's why I was like, oh man, this music's getting to me, you know, because I felt it was like super suspenseful. Plus, you know, this guy's hiding, he's going to jump out and get you. So yeah, I did feel it was more suspenseful.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely had that vibe. There's no doubt about it. But here we have poor Vera. She didn't really let Shelley down easily.
Bitch, you dropped that wallet.
Well, she hasn't dropped it yet. But what happened is Shelley's pranking her from underneath. Of course, you don't know it at the time. And there it is. He's got on that mask. For whatever reason, he decided to bring a hockey mask to a camp. And Vera's basically like, you know, you don't have to do this, you know, just be yourself and so forth and so forth. And Shelley does the one thing we always say don't do. He investigates. He went to the barn because he heard a noise. Why would you go to the barn? No shade to Larry Zerner. He's a great guy, but this character made a huge boo-boo. I love this scene because for me as a kid, especially when I first saw it, it was kind of that moment. And I was really giddy when we were doing the watch party because I was like saying to Coriander, here it is. And I wanted to see your reaction. Vera drops the wallet in the lake, in the water, and she goes to get it, and then this is what she sees. There he is, the captain of the hockey team. It's a great scene because, and Richard Brooker, rest in peace, physically he was awesome. He just had this kind of stroll to his walk as he's coming out, and he's got the harpoon gun. And Vera has no clue. Vera thinks, hey, for whatever reason, this is almost like a Halloween Kills moment, for those who know. Vera thinks it's Shelley at first, and then it's like, hey, what are you doing? Who are you?
I know.
And this is easily, you tell me what you think too, this is easily the best use of the 3D in the film.
Oh,
bar none.
Slingshot, the arrow.
Yeah, the arrow. Number one, because it's a great moment. Number two is because it looks the best. And number three, the after effect of the harpoon going right into Vera's eye, which was, it was so gross, and she falls into the water. But a great scene. I mean, this is literally the first time you ever see Jason Voorhees in the hockey mask. So absolutely iconic. And then I love it, you know, the actor, the stunt man, Richard Brooker, he just throws the gun down and kind of just starts walking off, and who's next?
Actually, I felt it was like kind of like when he dropped it, it was like him doing a mic drop.
Yes. I like this guy. He's okay. Let me put you on the screen, buddy. You get it. That was great. That's exactly how it felt. It was just kind of like, oh, bam. And and I think that movies back then didn't necessarily have the awareness. I don't think the filmmakers were necessarily like, hey, Jason's going to be front and center. I mean, he looked great in the film, but in today's movies, especially with horror films, you definitely get those, what they call hero shots, and those big moments where the performance is meant to be put online on social media and put in videos and put in TikToks and stuff like that. But for this movie, I think they did a really good job just letting him have that type of moment, like it's a mic drop. It really felt like that. So
yeah, it did.
Good call, man. Real quick too in the chat, and I want to make sure I said hey to Russell. Good to see you. And Paul is still here with us. And yes, Melissa, Coriander is right next to me.
I am.
She is. She says, why is Coriander never on anymore? She's right here.
I am. Hey.
I don't know. I think Knight's a ventriloquist.
Wouldn't that be the trick of the night?
Awesome.
That would make a creepy movie. Right?
Oh my gosh. So next in line, we've got these guys, and I think that this is, and Coriander can attest, this is like one of the great scenes. Another great scene. We had the harpoon gun, which was a great scene. This is another great scene. A great combination where these two had no idea, and they play around with the whole psycho shower scene quite a bit to make you think something's going to happen, just like you did, right?
Mm-hmm. They did it in the last movie too.
They did. Yep, no doubt. But Andy, poor Andy, he's great at doing handstands or walking in handstands, but holy moly, one of the best kills in the franchise. Like, just everything about it. Jason's literally right there and just comes right down. Yeah, it's no doubt at all, man.
So I didn't understand, when he came down, did he hit him in the face, or did he chop him across the waist, or how did that work?
He chopped him right. Boop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it looked like he was coming straight down at his face.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I think part of that. Well, and I didn't put the screenshot here because I didn't want to get too graphic. But the way that it looks in the film, they had the camera underneath a glass floor so that they could show it from below. and it looks like he's just like sliced right down the middle.
Yeah, it looked like his waist was like gone.
Yeah. Yep. And Val said his kill was one of the best. I agree. Yep. And Julie said, "Yeah, that's too bad.
It's too bad.
You guys are all right." But it's a great scene, and then it's even worse, when you have, like you said, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too bad.
Too bad.
But we finally find out what happened to Shelley. Shelley goes in, looking for help from the stoners. They don't believe him because he's been pulling these jokes the whole film. So they kind of play into that quite a bit. And then, of course, the famous line, "Shelley's dead."
Well, he doesn't know.
No, he doesn't. Well, but he saw it last night. Yeah, so,
but still, he doesn't know it's like famous here.
Well, it's famous for me.
You.
For me.
Is it?
Yeah. it is.
Yeah.
She knows me so well. Like, I'll say quotes from the movie. Fortunately, she knows them too. So I'm like, not totally in the dark here alone. But look at this shot, man. How scary is that?
Yeah.
Because he goes down into the basement or whatever to flip the power back on, and as soon as the light comes on, you see Richard Brooker standing there, like, "Yo, what's up?" I mean, it's creepy, and this kill was pretty quick. Of course, he just gets electrocuted, but still, just the presence of Jason, I thought they just did a fantastic job. And you called this one the right through the gut
hot poker.
Yeah, man. Just crazy stuff. And I mean, look at Richard. He's so imposing, man. It's like, and I know some folks in the chat, who love this franchise like we do, and I know Jason loves this franchise too. But like I said, man, as a kid, once I got this movie, I couldn't really go back to Sackhead, man. I just like, it's okay, it's cool, it's creepy, but this is my guy. This is my guy. Look at him. He's just intimidating as hell. Oh, hey, in the chat, real quick, we got Kelly in the house. What's up, Kelly? With a channel member anniversary for 6 months.
Awesome.
All right.
Really.
Thank you so much for all the support. We appreciate you. Hope you're doing well tonight. Saying this sequel is iconic because of the mask. The version of Jason people visualize includes the hockey mask. No one sees Sackboy when you mention Jason.
We were just talking about that. That's so funny.
It's true. It's so true. I mean, but it's interesting because, this will be maybe down the road, Michael, if, we'll see where we go with this. But, when I talk about the movies, and we just recently did a stream on this, the Friday the 13th films, it's interesting because I enjoy, like, for instance, I love part 2. I really do. And I think there's a lot of great things in 2 that are just as good, if not better, than some things in 3. But the one thing that isn't is Jason himself, but that doesn't decrease my enjoyment of part 2. You know what I mean? So it's just interesting how this character, again, has this evolution, and some people are big on the Sackhead version of Jason, and some people aren't. I mean, I'm sure most people aren't, but
growing up, I mean, I didn't know anything about Jason wearing a sack on his head. It was always the hockey mask,
Right.
Yeah. So I came into 1 thinking he's going to pop out with the hockey mask, and then and then I'm like, okay, 2, he's going to be there with the hockey mask, and he's not. And I'm like, what's going on?
And you kept asking, you're like, when is it going to get the hockey mask? And we were just laughing our butts off. Oh, it was great. Well, our final girl, who is there to prove something to herself, she goes back to the cabin with Rick. They're looking around. They can't find anybody because everyone is dead. Everyone has been killed by Jason, and Rick is about to step right on up because look, this is how strong Jason is. He's treating Rick like Paul from part 2.
I was about to say he's about as useless as Paul.
He is, but Paul, I just can't forgive Paul. He's just so ridiculous. Maybe it was the hair. But yeah,
They
so
should have had,
flipped
this
them.
dude exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Rick would have done better against Sackboy.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, Paul would have still got aced out though.
Exactly.
Oh.
It would have been more enjoyable seeing his eyes getting popped out of his head.
It's true. It's so true.
Right?
Let me ask you this, Michael. This is another one of those signature kills. What did you think of this sequence and this kill?
With CGI and everything right now, I mean, when you see it, it's kind of gross, but you can totally tell that it's a plaster Paris or whatever. And they were going for that shock factor with the 3D eyeball coming out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was gross, but I mean, another half of me was like, yeah, you can totally tell it's fake,
Right,
so.
right. Yeah,
but I thought it was funny, that they would make his eyeballs pop out like that.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it at all. Yeah, that was one of those signature kills, and poor Rick, he's gone. And we start to find out the question you asked: where does he put all the bodies? Well, there's one of the bikers. We know one of the other bikers is still in the barn. A couple other people are in closets. Chris is on her own, and this is what I wanted to get into, and let me know if you want to say anything on it too. She's totally scared. When she ran back into the cabin and didn't see Rick, she was like, Rick, help me. Rick, help me. She was relying on Rick. And when he got thrown through the window and she knows that he's dead, I think it really just showed her character. She didn't just give up. And I think it's a real good example of a final girl. I think Chris is severely underrated as a final girl, even in the Friday the 13th franchise. She really did some great things. I mean, look at him. That would scare the out of me.
It did. Me.
I didn't think she was a bad one.
No, I didn't think she was a bad one either, man. She's hiding in the closet. Her best friend who was pregnant was there. She got that knife, and look at her. She went at this is one of my favorite scenes in the whole franchise. Another favorite scene where she's just slashing the knife, right at Jason, and he doesn't want none of it. I love this scene so much. And then she actually stabs him in the knee, which, like, wow, she's like injuring Jason. Like everybody else was like a punk. And this lady who had been so traumatized is stepping up to the plate. Thank God for cheap fabric, because
a stunt double.
Yeah, and a stunt double. That's right. Good for you. No, but this scene, she's just trying to get away. And then look at this. She could have run. She could have kept running away. But instead, she waited for him to come down the stairs, the spiral stairway, and she hit him with that log. So she's got some guts, man. She gets into the van. They siphoned all the gas, but there was still some in there. So you're like, okay, well, we got a shot. She tries to run him off.
Yeah. They had a.
Don't give me the look.
Okay, talking to you.
Say it. Listen. No. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Dude.
You need to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, man. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
The reserve tank on the van, I thought it was going to save her, but then the bridge started collapsing. So, oh, poor Knight. There was a question by Kenny Pham. It says, Jason wasn't even the main killer in the original 1980s one. I wonder if anyone back in the 1980s was frustrated with the slow build. Friday the 13th was was unique that, you know, it came out and nobody knew the killer. And so, I mean, you just, in the movie, you hear about Jason as a little child who died in the water, and nobody knew. You know, now everybody knows that Jason is like this, you know, psychotic killer who will kill anybody. But back then, I think the suspense of the movie, because I just saw it recently, the suspense of the movie was outstanding, and the kills were really good. So, I mean, I don't think that anybody really would have, you know, hated the slow build up. And then when you find out at the end who the killer is, you're like, oh, interesting. So she just like flipped out. So, hey,
Went out, came back.
But we went out at the perfect time, so
Welcome back.
Didn't.
we did. So
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So
we can continue on with, you know.
I'm just saying. Go ahead, Michael.
Oh, I'm just going to let you know that there was a question, I think by Kenny Fam or something, and he was asking about, you said Jason wasn't even the main killer in the original 1981. I wonder if anybody back in the 80s was frustrated with the slow build. And I said, well, I've just watched it. I don't think that, you know, when it came out in 1980s, there was no Jason.
That's
This
right.
was
No
the
one
first
knew that
one.
that-
Right.
Right.
All they knew was, you know, he was a little kid that drowned.
That's
Yeah.
And
right.
so, you know, and the kills were great and the suspense was great. And I think that, you know, it was a great reveal at the end
Mhm.
of who was the actual killer. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think there was, I don't think that people were upset.
There was no Jason till Sean.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The thing of it was
So-
is that the hook of it was Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and how that was supposed to be like an unlucky day, and
Yep.
we knew there was a body count, and that was it. You know, but Jason didn't become a thing until obviously the second film, which was not the original plan.
Yeah.
But they saw the success that the first film had, and they wanted to build upon it. You know, that's pretty much. At the end of the day, it's a business. You know, it was about the cash. So, good question. Good question.
It's all about the cash.
It's all about the cash, man. The cheddar. And we got May in the chat too. What's going on, May? Good to see you. And has a channel member anniversary for 31 months.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah,
Older than me.
that's what I'm talking about.
That's older
great.
than me.
Dang.
You're good, man. And she's saying, "Good evening, my beautiful Night Watch family. Hello, Night, Coriander, and Michael. Hope you're doing well, May. Hope your move is going well."
Yeah.
Yep. And Jason's coming back in with a super chat. We need Ed Harris dancing to the Friday 13th 3D music. Oh, I should do that. That would be, yeah. But you know, the only thing about it though, Jason, is that I don't know if it'd be a copyright thing.
Oh yeah.
It probably would be a copyright thing. Anything with music, is open, you know, to copyright. I might try it just for the fun of it, though. That would be good. I would love to do that. All right, so now, just really to get to the end of the film here, when we get to the point where Jason is confronting Chris in the barn, the finale. Michael, what did you think of that finale? I mean, she's trying to do everything to him. She had a rope around his neck to hang him. She's hitting him over the head with the shovel. You know, everything's happening, but he just keeps coming back. What did you think of how that finale shaped out?
Well, when she put the rope around his neck and then he tossed him out and his neck broke, you know, basically. She goes downstairs and all of a sudden through the slats of the door, you see somebody moving. And I'm like,
yeah,
no.
You said that.
So she opens the door and all of a sudden he's there. And you said he like lifted himself up to pull the rope off his neck.
Yeah. He did. He he just kind of lifted himself
He did.
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I was
Mhm.
like, it seemed like he was a lot farther up. And then he pulls off his mask.
Yeah.
And then, you know, of course, she hits him with the axe in the head. And I'm thinking he's going to pop up or remove it at any point, you know, like he did in the second one with the
Yeah.
machete. So, you know, that was good. You know, they left him on the ground, you know.
They did, and you know, to kind of play, I think they were trying to almost homage the first film because, and you said it too, like, why is she getting in a boat? Hey, it's the thing that you do at Crystal Lake, right?
I guess.
And she sees him in the window and then busting through the door, and it's like, what the hell is going on? And I thought it was smart because, like in the first film, the serenity and the music kind of lulled you into the stinger. You know, in the second film, you were wondering what was going to happen. You were looking towards the door where useless Paul was, and he comes out from behind Jenny. In this one, she sees, quote unquote, sees Jason busting out of the cabin or whatever, and then of course, as soon as that happens, Pamela's got a surprise for her. What did you think of how this stinger went? What about you as well, Coriander? Just how do you think it went? Just being the ending, the stinger to the film, was it effective to you?
What, having her jump out?
Well, just how they crafted it.
I mean, I kind of like how they brought it back to the first in that way. You know, yeah, I didn't mind it.
What did you think, Michael?
I thought I kind of like figured something was going to jump out. I didn't think the mom was, but you know, but then you said later on that, you know, they were thinking about using her in future films, but they never did. I think it was a wasted resource, you know, because they could have had, you know, the mom and son duo back again or something, you know.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, it was okay. It wasn't as scary as the first time on the first movie, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to say cliche but it was predictable, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I mean, it had its own little bit of charm, but I don't think it was as effective as 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as effective as either. But I'll give them some credit for trying to you know, change it up a little bit because the setup for it was a little bit different. You know what I mean?
It was almost like, you know, this time Mama was watching instead of Jason.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, almost doing the reverse. Now it's Pamela coming. Yeah,
but she didn't chop Jason's head off though, you know.
No, exactly right. She just put an axe in his mask.
Yeah.
But poor Chris, she's traumatized. I gotta admit, it was kind of sad seeing her like this because she was such a to me a good character and got that strength at the end to overcome Jason. So to be totally in shambles like this was kind of tough to see. But the last thing we see is our boy right there, just laying there.
I'm breathing.
Coriander.
Just had to rest.
Yeah, that's what it is. Jason saying Jason in the window hissing freaked me out. It was a freaky ending. When I first saw that, I was like, what? He's still there? You know?
I know.
It was crazy. I
was like, how do you end up in the house? He was just in the barn, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like sitting there and he's like beating on the window saying Rocky Road. And,
come on.
You guys.
Hey, you
guys. Look.
Anyway.
This was, to me, it was a really good ending. But I think the finale, you know, this Jason versus Chris, especially once he got the hockey mask and started taking people out, I think it was one of the better finales in the franchise. But also, I think they just ramped it up. I just thought it was really, really good. As much as I love 2, I think this was, again, that extra intensity, and a big part of that was Richard's performance as Jason. He was just very good physically, stalking these guys and everything. So, all right. Well, guys, as always, once we finish talking about the movie, we give our thoughts as far as how many badges do we give the film. And of course, just to explain it to you guys in the chat, you can let us know as well. You love this part, Coriander. I know you do. We have 4 badges, which means we think the film is excellent. It's a classic. You should own it on physical media if you can. We have the 3 badges, which means that it's all right. It's not too bad. It's not great. We've got 2 badges. Well, it's good, but it's all right. Whatever. 2 badges, it can go either way. If you never see it again, not a big deal. And then, of course, we have the dreaded 1 badge, which means it's absolutely horrible, not worth your time whatsoever, aka dark territory, aka don't go in the woods alone, aka student bodies, aka blood cult, aka good night, God bless. There you go.
You forgot The Descent, right?
What? What are you talking about?
Actually, I've never seen it, so I don't know.
Ooh, oh my God. Yeah, we got to watch that. He's never seen The Descent.
Yeah, I mean.
Ooh, you like The Descent? That's a good movie.
Yeah, it's okay.
Wow.
But let's go.
Okay.
Let's rate this.
So, Coriander, what do you want to give Friday the 13th Part 3?
Oh, come on. I'm going to give it 4.
She's going with the 4 badges all the way home. Michael, what do you think? What do you want to give Friday the 13th
That's
Part 3?
all 4s, 1 through 3 for Coriander.
Fuck yeah.
I would give it a 4 because we get to see The Mask, which I've been calling about. The director did his debut there in the very beginning of the movie. He was part of it. I liked the Shelley part. Yeah. I mean, there were parts that were very predictable, but it was the suspense killed me, literally killed me. A lot more than in the other movies. I think they kind of perfected the craft. So I'll give it 4.
Well said, man. Well said.
Wait to the next one, man.
Well, for me, I got to give my score. Yeah. Well, for me, I think that, again, this is one of those franchises that, like you said, perfecting the craft. This is easily a 4 badge for me because I just think everything worked. You had a great cast. They were fun. I think Shelley is like the linchpin, like, the guy that you...
Well, Shelley's the GOAT. He got Jason.
He got the mask. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think
Shelley, there'd be no mask.
There you go. And I think Richard Brooker was fantastic as Jason. You have a great finale. This whole thing with the final girl versus Jason, I think it's one of the best in the franchise, if not slashers in general. Heck yeah, man. This was I watched this one quite a bit when I was a kid and still do. So for you guys in the chat, we got May coming in with 4 badges. Russell's going with 2. Wow. Okay. Lindsay's coming in with 4. Definitely 4.
Put hot mustard on those 2 badges.
Yeah. DJ wants to give 5. Jack saying 4. Solar Guy going with 4. And hey, JPEG, we got JPEG in the chat. Good to see you. Val says this one gets 4 badges. Jason is going with 4. We knew that. And let's see, you guys are too funny. That's right, Jason. The mask was so clean. And May's calling it the Descent Watch Party. Let me just say this, guys. We haven't made anything official yet, but Michael's been on this journey, and it's worked out really good as far as just the time frame that we can kind of get together and do it. And of course, it's so much fun. But
and it's not over yet.
It's not over yet, hopefully. But that there's no commitment. We haven't had that conversation. But
we had
just to say.
We did. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh man, let me finish.
He's trying to keep the suspense going,
Yeah, right. You know what I'm talking about. But just to say, you know, on Sunday nights, guys, keep your eyes open. Sunday nights, we've been doing these watch parties, and they are gold. They really, really are. And it's also a way for you guys, especially for you guys that are channel members, Patreon members, to get that extra value. And we just have a great time hanging out. So just keep your eyes open. So we'll see what we do. Nanette is also going with 4 badges. Kelly says 4 is the only thing that makes sense. There you go. I love that. Awesome stuff. Well, guys, we're going to get ready to end out from there. We appreciate you hanging out with us so much. It really means a lot. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps us out. We didn't get to everyone's comment. We tried to, but definitely definitely leave us some comments. Let's keep the conversation going. If you haven't subscribed to Michael's channel, The Carbonite Jedi, make sure you guys do that. And Michael didn't know I was going to say this, and hopefully it's okay. But guys, keep your eyes open. Michael's got some cool stuff cooking up, and some really fun stuff. I'm excited for him, which means that it'll be excitement for the community. So definitely make sure you guys go and support our brother.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Absolutely.
This has to do with the movie. So at the very beginning, Shelley's wearing that clear mask. Remember? On the isn't there a horror movie where somebody wears a mask like that?
Yep.
What
Alice,
movie
Sweet
is it?
Alice.
Alice, Sweet Alice. I don't think I've seen that either. So
Brooke Shields is in that when she was like a real little girl.
Yep.
Really younger
yeah,
than
Brooke
Blue
Shields.
Lagoon.
I thought it was on Thanksgiving. That Thanksgiving creep. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
No.
It could be. I don't know. You know, I will say this. You know, the 80s definitely had a lot of slashers that kind of borrowed from other movies. So it might have been something that you saw.
Okay.
It's possible.
Okay.
But if you want to see a good movie, you should, we should watch that one.
Yeah.
If
That's
you've
a good
never
one.
seen it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a scene that's like, have you seen Hereditary?
Is that the one with the they splice the alien DNA with the baby?
No. That's
No.
that's
Okay.
something else.
Because this is a pretty shocking scene.
Hereditary, is that where the girl has asthma and the brother takes her to the party?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I saw it once with Steve. I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah.
He did tell me you guys saw that. That's right.
Yeah. Well, this has not a scene that isn't. It's a scene that's like, oh, wow. You know, it's like a wow scene. So
I've seen it. So I mean.
Oh, you have seen Alice, Sweet Alice?
Oh no, not Alice, Sweet Alice. I thought you were talking about Hereditary.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No. You should
All
check it
right.
out.
Okay. Well, listen, guys. I totally forgot where I was at.
Sorry.
No. That's okay. I'm used to it.
No, you were just saying watch for Sundays.
Yeah.
And
Well, and what we might do,
parties.
I want to say, Nanette, thank you so much saying I'm a member now night. We appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. That is very, very kind of you. But we definitely will be planning to do something again coming up. And I mean, it might be on Michael's channel too, just like when we were watching the Event Horizon. So keep your eyes open. Jack, we're hopefully going to be streaming on Saturday. Just keep your notifications on. We'll be hanging out and just hanging out with you guys and so forth. So we will catch you guys next time. Take it easy. We enjoyed this a lot. And as always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.
Thank you.